Cake on the mic, cake on the mic, cake on the mic, cake on the mic. People, this the intro. Sacramento, California, born and raised. And Antelope is where I spend most of my days. Talk bad about my team, you must be a clown. This is Keek on the mic, so you know you better bear down. Bear down.
Hey, what's going on, Bears fans? Thank you so much for joining me for another episode of Keek on the Mic, the podcast all about the Chicago Bears. Like always, if you're new to the channel, make sure you hit that subscribe button and the bell notification to catch all Bears content right here on the podcast. At the moment, about 78% of you guys that are actually viewing my videos are not subscribed to the channel. I'll be here all offseason long, giving you guys the latest Bears updates. So please, please, please make sure you hit that subscribe button and the bell notification to catch all Bears content all offseason long. Make sure you also follow me on all my social media platforms to stay connected with all Keek on the Mic news. Okay, Bears fans, we've been talking a lot about Justin Fields, of course, and all the rumors and all the backlash he has been getting from people saying that we should trade him away and draft Bryce Young. And this is obviously a situation where you don't want to hear it, but this is something that we're going to be hearing all offseason long. So guys like Mike Tannenbaum, Warren Sapp coming out and giving their opinions on what they think they should do with Justin Fields. But then you have some positive news as well in terms of Justin Fields and what some other people think that the Chicago Bears should do with Justin Fields, and that comes from former Minnesota Vikings GM Rick Spielman. While on NBC Sports Chicago, he had this to say about Justin Fields. I think Justin is a guy that has all the ability in the world to be a franchise guy. He also added this when he compared Justin Fields to Jalen Hurts of the Philadelphia Eagles. He feels that Justin Fields is a better runner and has better speed than Jalen Hurts. Let me show you what else Rick Spielman had to say on NBC Sports Chicago about Justin Fields. Check this out, Bears fans.
If you're at the number one overall pick, and me personally, Coach, like we've talked about in the past, I think Justin Fields is a guy that has all the ability in the world to be a franchise guy. And if you can build around him like Philly did with Jalen Hurts, because I think Justin Fields is even a better runner and has better speed than Jalen Hurts. I think Justin Fields has improved as a passer. The guys in the building and the coaches in the building know exactly what he can and can't do. And when they go through and talk about all these quarterbacks, they're going to make a comparison to Justin. But if I was in their situation, I would really take advantage of potentially getting a ton of draft capital to rebuild this roster, and you want to give Justin Fields the tools around him to actually find out what he can do. Because God forbid you traded a Justin Fields, and let's say you traded him to a San Francisco 49ers with all those weapons around him. Imagine if Justin Fields was with that football team and what he could potentially do. So he's too young to say he's a bust, but I do think he's trending in the right direction. That says he's going to be a franchise quarterback in Chicago. Those other guys, they may have been ahead of him a little bit at this point, but his 2 years and what he has shown so far in Chicago is all trending upwards. And then if you do draft one with the first overall pick, you better be sure. And I think there's a lot of good guys, especially these top three quarterbacks that teams are going to be picking apart over the next couple of months here before the draft. But I don't know if any one of these guys you would say is a Trevor Lawrence or Andrew Luck or a Peyton Manning, one of those type of guys.
So Bears fans, I do want to make it known that Rick Spielman was the Minnesota Vikings GM when Justin Fields was coming out of Ohio State, and Minnesota was really wanted Justin Fields in that draft. Obviously, the Chicago Bears traded up to select Justin Fields with the 11th overall pick. But this is why Rick Spielman had so many nice things to say about Justin Fields, because he absolutely loved Justin Fields coming out of college. And obviously Rick Spielman had a lot of good things to say and a lot of things that I kind of want to discuss here on the podcast. He is saying everything that I've been saying here on the podcast. It's obvious what the Chicago Bears need to do. Ryan Poles needs to trade out of the number one overall pick, stockpile draft capital, and build around Justin Fields. And one of the things I really liked what he said, could you imagine trading away Justin Fields to a team like the San Francisco 49ers that is loaded with talent? from top to bottom, from offensive linemen to weapons to defense, right? And could you imagine what Justin Fields would have been with the San Francisco 49ers? He would have been absolutely ridiculous. And Spielman has a great point. That makes you wonder, if we do in fact build around Justin Fields, which that's what I feel Ryan Poles will do, or at least should do, Justin Fields' game will elevate to a whole new level, and it will be really fun to be a Chicago Bears fan for years to come. Another thing that I wanted to mention here on the podcast that Rick Spielman mentioned on his interview in NBC Sports Chicago, he brought up the comparison with Jalen Hurts and Justin Fields, right? And the Philadelphia Eagles and the Chicago Bears, and he was basically saying that the Bears should take a page out of what the Philadelphia Eagles did for Jalen Hurts. And I absolutely agree. When you look at what Philadelphia did for Jalen Hurts, and I do want to mention that the smack talk and all this controversy around Justin Fields and the Bears should get rid of Justin Fields, that's all the stuff you heard about Jalen Hurts until the Philadelphia Eagles decided to build around Jalen Hurts. And now look at him. An MVP, possibly front runner. He has a chance to win MVP. He's going to the Super Bowl. And what did the Philadelphia Eagles do? They built around Jalen Hurts, build the offensive line, right? They got him two huge weapons in Devontae Smith and A.J. Brown. Their defense was still there, right? With guys like Fletcher Cox, Brandon Graham. But then they added a guy like Hassan Reddick to the defense and took their defense to a whole new level. They built that team the right way, but with Jalen Hurts as the sole focus. Now Jalen Hurts is in line for a mega extension this offseason, because once they built around Jalen Hurts, he took his game to the next level. And that's exactly the blueprint that Ryan Poles needs to do for Justin Fields and the Chicago Bears. I've been saying this for the longest time. That's what they needed to do with Justin Fields. Trade down, build around the guy, right? And I truly feel in my hearts of hearts that Justin Fields could possibly be a better version of Jalen Hurts, if you ask me. And Bears fans, I truly feel that the Chicago Bears are in a really good situation. This is also something I wanted to bring up here today on the podcast. They're in a really good situation because when you look at the two teams in the Super Bowl, the Kansas City Chiefs and the Philadelphia Eagles, where did Ryan Poles come from? The Kansas City Chiefs. Where did Ian Cunningham come from? The Philadelphia Eagles. Two teams that both Ryan Poles with the Chiefs and Ian Cunningham with the Eagles had handprints all over before they came here to the Chicago Bears. So the Chicago Bears are in a really good situation, but I really liked what Rick Spielman had to say because he's just saying the obvious. He's not saying dumb things like Warren Sapp, right? Or Mike Tannenbaum. We all know that Justin Fields is the guy. We all know what Ryan Poles needs to get done. And it's just so awesome to watch the success that the Philadelphia Eagles had once they built around Jalen Hurts. And I'm telling you, Bears fans, that is the blueprint for the Chicago Bears and Justin Fields. So Rick Spielman going on there to NBC Sports Chicago is nothing new. It's what I've been saying. It's what a lot of you guys been saying for the longest time. Trade down, stockpile the draft picks, build around your young quarterback, and trust me, I have a really good feeling that the Chicago Bears can be just like the Philadelphia Eagles in due time once they do, in fact, build around Justin Fields. So my question for you guys is, do you think the Chicago Bears should use the Philadelphia Eagles blueprint with Justin Fields? And how do you guys feel about Rick Spielman's comments on Justin Fields? Let me know down below in the comment section. Before I let you guys go, make sure you hit that subscribe button and the bell notification to catch all Bears content right here on the podcast. Make sure you follow me on all my social media platforms. And make sure you share this episode of Geek on the Mic with every single Bears fan that you know. But other than that, be back for our all new Bears podcast right here on Geek on the Mic. Thanks, guys, and bear down.
You ain't bout it, you ain't bout it, you ain't kick on the mic. You ain't bout it, you ain't bout it, you ain't kick on the mic. You can go and